Tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about when you started the company, though, the Pixel Mouse House.
Well, that's it wasn't exactly a moment where I go, I think I'm gonna go do this, and I go, I want to break out on my own. Now, I was very happy working for my bosses. So I had a great little situation where it was a small company, and they just let me run things, and they knew that I was better at it than they were. I was sharper at the computers. I was quicker at the details. I could understand talking to an artist. I could speak Spanish. So at the end of the day, like, okay, let Rob do it, and and that was great. But unfortunately, you know, my boss died he died. He had AIDS, but he died of cancer.
Oh, wow.
And he showed me what it was like to be fearlessly proud of yourself, whether you're gay, straight, it doesn't matter. He just showed me, he had a fearless side to him that was really commendable. And then the other partner also, he passed away a couple years later, and I was left out in the cold.
Wow.
And then I had to realize I got to do something, because if you remember, around that time we were going through the real estate crash.
Yeah. Yep.
So I went to my family. I asked them for, like, for a small loan, and they came through, and and I
Wow.
just slapped it all together. In 6 months, I would call clients incessantly to give me a chance. It wasn't a moment I want to go back and relive. It was and it was and I feel like this world again is coming back to those hard feelings. But now I'm in a place where I'm more confident of my abilities, because before then I was kind of getting thrown out into the woods and go live on your own.
Right. Well, you've been able to acquire clients now, so you definitely have a comfort level, and it can be done. So, that makes a difference. Before, when you work for a company, they've kind of built that a little bit. So, you're on the payroll, right? So it's a little different.
You got a paycheck no matter what.
Yeah.
So, and then you got to believe in yourself a little more. So I thought I was cocky then. It was nothing that I really had to, look somebody in the eyes like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, sure, we could do that. Like, then you go, how am I going to do that? I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But I've had moments where I'm like, oh God, this just didn't work out, did it? But you live through them, and you kind of, you learn, and you go, okay. So I'm definitely battle tested. I'll tell you that right now, 2020.
So you're strictly in the children's arena, yeah?
Yeah, that's kind of like that's the cards that I learned, and I don't need to go elsewhere, because the children's market, even when the market was going down for reading, the children's book stayed healthy, because you're always going to have a new 3-year-old. You're always going to have a new 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, or 6, or the middle school. You're always going to have kids coming in after them, reading new books or going back to the old titles.
Right. Your market doesn't go away for it. So
whether if I wrote an adult novel about a knight of the round table, that could get lost in translation and done with, and it doesn't last. So the idea is to make books that kind of can stick around.
Yeah, timeless, right? I'm really curious, because I think you have both the business side of things, plus you're very creative as well. Like, you obviously have the creative angle to it. So
so that's because I went to art school to be an illustrator. That was my dream. I wanted to be Salvador Dali. I wanted to be, anybody who was like and I tried, I really did. And I have my way of looking at things, and at times it looks like something like Radiohead would do. And it wasn't meant for children, it was definitely, and it wasn't really commercial. So as not as great as I could draw, it wasn't working. And I go, how am I going to do this and make a living, is what I kept saying to myself. Because I'd do a job and you'd have to wait 6 months to get paid.
Right.
So, I realized that I better put my corporate hat on and do something about it. And then I realized I could be an art rep.
But you came from the artist side first and foremost.
Oh, yeah. Because then I could talk to an artist to artist.
Yeah.
So that's the other trust, is like, listen, every page can't be a movie poster. You're only making X amount of dollars.
Right.
You got to learn to economize your time, and I can tell
Right.
them those things and they go, you're right. I
Yep.
understand that. So
ROI, ROI.
yeah. So that's about 20 years of art repping. So from 1993 through 2011, I'd say. That happened when I was in New York City working for the big publishers, and they would call over like, we got 15 books and we would like you guys to do it. And it was these big calls, but now that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it's very different.
Like everybody else, we're all watching TV, a daily, this thing is coming at us and, it's coming from China, and you go, oh, okay. And then you're noticing that the phone calls are starting to dry up too at the same time. So by the time we get to March, what I usually have is a busy inbox of, we got a project here, we got a book there, and none of that was happening. And I'm starting to feel, oh gosh, this is not good. And I start, typing to all my clients, say, hey, what happened to the book we were talking about? It's like, we moved it to 22. That's the big answer. We're like, we're not doing anything right now. We're going to skip a year and put it out, start working on it next year. And for somebody who relies on, monthly income from contracts, that hurt us all immediately. So once I realized that was happening, to take a collective deep breath and go, what else can we do? And I go, well, we are artists ourselves. We are creators all the time. So don't wait for the phone to ring. Go and do it yourself.
Make the opportunities.
Sure. Make something out of nothing is really what I say. So then I got in touch with Adam Mock, who had a project that I didn't think it was ready 5 years ago, and I'm glad I listened to that instinct, because I wanted his book to come out and be really good.
It's really cute too. It's a great one. I love it.
Yeah, and we work, and trust me, like after 37 times you look at something like, okay, I think we got it, because it does take a long time to look at something to the point where it's no longer pleasing for you.
Right.
Because you're trying to put it out there for someone to see it for the first time in a fantastic way.
Right. Your eyes are tired of seeing the same thing over and over. You don't know the difference anymore, right? You just tell,
at the point, yeah. But as long as you get your feelings on the paper, or what you're thinking as an art director or a producer, then you can let it go. So once I felt like there was humor, once I felt there was a flow to it, once I saw the illustrations were really great and the typography was falling into place, I go, Adam, I think we're ready now. We can do it. And then what was great was that Adam was in a great place to do an audiobook.
Right.
I don't know if you heard the audiobook.
I haven't heard it yet, but we talked about it. I need to listen to it because he does great voices.
Yeah, and he opened up a brand new channel for me. I'm like, Adam, that was fantastic. How do we do that again? And sure enough, we stepped into the arena of doing audiobooks, because his talent, and then, my ability is to, an audiobook is to me theater of the mind.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and I'll go there in there because I can visualize things with pictures, and then I'll use sound effects around his dictation, and becomes so. The book is very humorous as an audiobook. We had a good laugh. I
gotta listen to it now that you mentioned it. Now that you reminded me, I gotta do that
today. It's available on Audible. So I go, well, that's the formula. So for every book we're doing, to put it out as an audiobook too.
It's great. It's another